going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and we're going to take a look at the KS0. So I've had this for about 9 or 10 days now. We're doing an update on profitability. How far has this ROI'd? Or is it close to getting to ROI yet? And how much is this thing making? I also want to bring something up that this thing is cheaper and probably better than getting solar power. I know you're probably like, what are you talking about? How is that even a thing? You're using power in your mining. So this little device that uses 71 watts of power is making way more, almost double, than my entire mining farm that's with this Bitcoin solo miner and so on, that I could run my entire farm for free and at a fraction of the cost for solar. In order to do that on solar power, I would actually have to pay like $70,000 to have 24/7 with the batteries and everything at full 100% free power. So, $999 for, probably a couple months here. Now, the KS0s are arriving within a month here, maybe less, couple weeks according to Iceriver's website. And then the Bitmain is supposed to drop sometime August or September. I don't think that's going to happen till September because it's usually at the very end of their time frames, and they recently did change it to August, September. So I'm going with September here, but again, we don't know until Bitmain will drop it. But once that happens, probability is going to start dumping bad on kaspa with all these ASICs, just like we've seen with Kadena. Now, other than Iceriver, there's actually more ASIC companies, third parties here that are starting to sell these now for the same $999. RabidMining is one of them, and my code RABID will grant you a discount on top of the $999. So check that link in the description if you're looking for these. But remember, profitability is going to drop soon. Keep that in mind. All right, so let's just take a quick look at how much kaspa this thing has mined so far. So if we come into here and we look at 16,015 coins is the total paid that I got with this KS0. This is the only pool I've used for the KS0. I've never used it before, so everything coming out of here is based on the KS0. And in the past 24 hours, I made about 1,403 kaspa coins. Now, it's down a little bit because there was a thunderstorm last night and I had issues getting it back online, but it was down for an hour or so, but it's back running just fine at this point. But we can see 16,015. Now, if we look at the current price of kaspa, we're sitting at 0.0256. So if I take 16,015 times that by the 0.0255 now, it looks like it just changed, went down a little bit. That is $408. This thing has made $408 in like 10 days. That is pretty close to 50% ROI already. It's halfway there, a little shy. It's probably about 45 or so. But remember, this was only $999, and 10 days later, we're almost 50%. So that's pretty crazy to think about. Now, those numbers may look great, but let's kind of get into some bad news. It might be a good thing or a bad thing to hold off on these miners. Now, it all depends how many KS3s and stuff will sell. As we've seen what happened with Kadena, every miner was profitable on it. KA3s hit and it died. On top of that, we are dealing with a fast track kaspa emission schedule. So we're sitting right here right now. We're at 207.65 kaspa coins per 1 second. Now, there's a big misconfusion going on with the faster block times. They're going to get to 10 blocks per second, 30 blocks per second. But no matter what blocks per second they get at, they can get to 1,000 blocks per second. This number is not going to change. This will always be the same amount of kaspa every 1 second. This will just be divided by how many blocks are happening per second to get into there. So example, say they get to 2 blocks. They release 2 blocks per second on mainnet. So we're going to go from 207 to about 103.5 per block. Those 2 blocks being found in a second will both happen and hit 207 kaspa. So that's kind of what's going on with the faster block rewards. It's not going to be 2 blocks. That's way too slow. It's going to be moving to 10 and 30 and so on. Right now on the testnet, I think they're at 10 or 12 blocks per second. But when everything comes to mainnet, we'll see what happens. But eventually, when this starts happening, that's kind of how that's going to work. But every month, the kaspa block rewards are dropping. Like I said, right now we're at 207. Next month is going to be 195. The following month is 184. The following month after that, 174. So you can see every month it's slowly dropping. And how it works out is that's an actual full halving event every year. So kaspa actually halves every year, but it's doing it slowly every month. But it is a very fast-tracked halving system, and eventually the block reward is going to be very, very small. And you know, the huge emission schedule is over like 30 years or something. Here we can see it goes all the way down to, actually not 30 years, what am I talking about? But we can see here the final block reward reduction will happen in 2037, but the block reward is only going to be like 0.014 kaspa. Very, very small. But again, that's going to happen in 2037. It's a ways out there, but we can just see how fast this emission schedule is coming into play. And the Bitmain KS3 ASICs are supposed to hit around this level in here, 184 to 185, depending when they do release it. Actually, yeah, it's going to be 184 or 174. One of these 2 months, August or September, or maybe even longer, depending if there's delays. Obviously, if you ordered this thing already, you don't want any delays. And everyone that has current miners like the KS0s, they want as many delays as possible. But the longer it takes for them to release, the lower and lower this block reward is getting. Now let's kind of look at some other profitability numbers that could happen. Now, basing everything off Kadena with the KA3s, we've seen about 2,000 or 3,000 KA3s go online, but it took about 2 or 3 months to hit those levels. It wasn't right off the get-go. So between Iceriver's KS3 and Bitmain's KS3s, we don't know how many will actually be bought and sold because they are super expensive. But rich people, you know, I feel there's a massive FOMO coming into this. So we may see more miners than what happened on Kadena. So it's going to be crazy because Kadena miners were like $60 to $90. So maybe or $60 to $300. I can't remember what it looked like before they released, but this thing's coming into the $2,000 to $3,000 range. So there's massive FOMO coming into the KS3s. They are very expensive, but this is what numbers will look like. So right now you can see kaspa no, then I got kaspa in August. That's meaning with the block reward reduction coming down, we can see we go from 1.7 million or 17 million here or something coins per 24 hours down to 15.9 million coins just within 2 months between the full 24 hours. We can see how big of a drop is happening just from those small block rewards each month. But kaspa right now with the KS0 at 100 gigahash is making about $35 a day, which is about 1,375 coins. The network hash rate just picked up while recording this. It's usually sitting around 1.09 terahash to 1.2. It is now 1.3 petahash, not terahash, I meant petahash here. So we're hanging out at 1.3 petahash currently right now. Now, if we fast forward 2 months to August and 2,000 KS3s go online, that's going to put our profitability upwards to 27 cents. We're only going to be at 27 cents. Actually, wait, I messed this up again. You can see I have the price way down to nothing. So I got to go at current price here. So we're going to go 228. Bam. So we can see we're still getting $2, but we're going from $35 down to $2. Now this is still only using 79 or 71 watts, so it's still looking pretty darn good. So if we move to only 1,000 go online, maybe we know we're sitting at $4.12, which makes sense. Double of 2,000 here. And here is if 5,000 miners go online. I think this is a far-fetched number. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen eventually, maybe by the end of the year. It depends on how many of these miners are available. But 5,000 miners, it's going to take a little while, I feel, to hit that number. But regardless, once 5,000 hit, if it was to hit in August here, that's down to 85 cents per day on the KS0. So that's a huge drop coming down from $35. We're not going to hit this number. I think we're going to be around the $2 to $4 range, you know, maybe in the next 3 months or something, but, you know, we still don't know for sure. Just to get an idea of the hash rate of these miners, the KS3 of 2,000 of them alone is 16,600 terahash or 16.6 petahash, and 5,000 KS3s is 41,500 terahash or 41.5 petahash. I just finished saying the network just went up to 1.3 petahash, 16.6 petahash. This is like almost 16 times the hash rate increase with only 2,000 miners going online. That's crazy. And here we can see 41.5 petahash up from 1.3 petahash. Huge increases in hash rate is coming and profitability is going to drop. Now let's kind of look at the KS3s. We're doing some way far out there stuff. What's the KS3s going to look like with these type of hash rate numbers? All right, so here we have it, the KS3 8 terahash. Now Bitmain's a little bit more. The Iceriver are supposed to release at 8 terahash here this month, coming up in the next couple weeks. Will they come out in the next couple weeks? That's going to be a big question, but we'll find out. Anyway, 8 terahash at the current network, sitting around $2,800. We're still looking at like a 10 to 15 day ROI on a crazy expensive machine, but this is not going to last very long. As soon as one miner goes up, this hash rate is going up, and this has already dropped from a single miner. Anyway, let's take a look at August now with 2,000 miners on. We're going to go from $2,800 down to $164 per day. That's still a lot, but it's definitely going to increase that ROI. Now, if only 1,000 miners go online, that's about $329. And if 5,000 miners hit the network, this is all in August. Again, I don't think this is going to happen in August. Not that many are going to hit, but that's down to $67. So like I'm saying, you know, this is in 2 months from now. If they release, then those miners hit. If it's longer, the block reward is going to keep dropping every single month, pushing these numbers lower, lower, and lower, because this is only an August type of numbers here, which is 2 minor reductions away. So it's pretty crazy. Let's kind of look at an ROI here. Now, if we are looking at 2,000 KS3s online, we're down to $164. So this thing is like what? $48,000, to say a rough number here. We're going to divide that now by 164. That is now putting this thing at an ROI of 292 days. We're going to go from like 15 to 18 day ROI to 292, which is still very, very fast, but not what a lot of people are realizing here. And there's a lot of people that don't understand how network hash rate and difficulty really affects the profitability of miners, because for some reason no one's seen it coming with Ethereum when we tried warning you guys. So here it is again. The profitability is going to drop a lot. It's still going to look amazing based on this, but if they drop the prices like maybe 2 months after release and it's like 50% less, you may be closer to ROI at that point than people that got them early, because they spent the full price and the hash rate is probably going to spike right off the get-go. All right, guys, so there we have it. In about 10 days time, this thing is almost 50% ROI. And again, I do have links to RabidMining and some other manufacturers that are selling these with my discount codes that will save you a bit of money. But I'm also highly urging you guys, this is the RabidMining YouTube channel. We only mine what's profitable. I don't care what a coin is doing. So right now these are profitable, but I'm warning you, things are not going to be like this forever. In a couple months time, profitability is going to drop, and it's going to drop a lot. Just take a look at Cadena and the KS3s, so, or KA3s for that matter. But just keep in mind, these aren't going to last forever. It's a very short time. The faster you get them, the better chance you have the ROI. It's starting to get to the point, I feel, with shipping and everything, and I don't know if there's going to be delays on future listings of these things and so on, but because they've been at high order demand right now, everyone's FOMOing the crap into these, so you're probably going to be missing out. It might not be a good time to get these anymore. Anyway, you know, that's my 2 cents on that. Regardless, it's looking better than Solo, but should I keep that? You know, kaspa is probably going to pump in the future. I feel kaspa might do something major in the next bull run. It hasn't seen a bull run on an exchange yet, so this could do something. A lot of people feel sell pressure, big ASICs will hit, sell pressure. Yeah, you know, eventually we're going to see some massive dips. Everyone's going to be like, I told you so, kaspa's dying, but it's going to recover. Kaspa, I feel, it's doing great things. It's doing do some good stuff, so the future is still unknown, but it's probably going to surprise a lot of people, just like some other coins are going to surprise some people. So just hang in there, and it's probably better to hold your kaspa coins at this point instead of using it to cover your power, but it all depends what you're mining, what you're swapping into. I want to try some other things on here. I wonder if I could just like use unmineable. I do have a discount code, referral code. If you want to use unmineable, you know what? Code Rabid will work on any coin, so check that out on unmineable. But maybe I'll try this and get paid out in Raptorium or something. That might be pretty sweet. Build up my second or third node or something there. So, you know, there's other options, but there we go. The KS0 profitability is amazing right now, but in a couple months it won't be. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the KS0. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.